Hello everyone, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be talking about David Tennant because he recently cancelled an appearance at an upcoming convention. I think that all but nails on essentially he's coming back. We also have a new job listing from Bad Wolf Studios for a production manager starting in late Feb, early March. It all seems to be lining up. I think things are finally beginning to roll. The ball is starting to roll on this 2026 special, so we're going to dive right into it. But do me a favour, subscribe if you're new, that'd be greatly appreciated. We do regular Doctor Who content here on the channel, and any support would be greatly appreciated. But with that said, let's dive right in. So yes, the main reason why I'm covering this today is that Emerald City Comic Con has announced that due to a scheduling conflict, David Tennant is no longer able to join us at ECCC 2026. We look forward to our schedules aligning in the future and hopefully having him on next year. If you purchased a photo op or autograph, they will email you with the next steps. So obviously Emerald City Comic Con is on March 5th to March 8th, and this is the video, so I'll play that now.
Hello, Emerald City. David Tennant here. I'm really sad to say that I just can't make it to the convention next month. I'm gutted. I thought I was going to be able to make it. My schedule was just getting more and more squeezed, and getting in and out for one day has just finally defeated me. I'm so sorry. I know you'll have a wonderful time because I've been there before and it was great, and I really hope you'll ask me again next year. In the meantime, I'm missing you all. Take care. I'm very sorry. Lots of love. Mwah.
Yeah, so there you go. You know, his schedule is filling up around March, and to add on to this as well, we have a job listing. Now, originally, I think this was on Gallifrey base for a production secretary, Bad Wolf Cardiff Production Office. Job period, 6 months from February of 2026. Job description, a Bad Wolf production shooting in Wales is looking for a production secretary to join the production team from February for approximately 6 months. This is an exciting opportunity to work with a dynamic international production company producing television drama at the very highest level. We would particularly welcome those applications from those from underrepresented backgrounds. There you go. So yeah, like another job listing for a big drama in Cardiff. I think it's pretty safe to say this is probably Doctor Who. What's interesting about this though is, if it is for Doctor Who, then it's a listing for a 6-month job, which is interesting because obviously as far as we know, there's only one episode for this 2026 Christmas special. Whether that's including post-production, that might, you know, kind of add to why it would be 6 months long. Or, you know, whether like this episode maybe could be 60 minutes at least, which is something I would really hope for if, you know, is all we're getting for a while. I would hope for at least an hour for this special to kind of tie everything up and tie up all those loose ends. I don't know, but yeah, that does seem like quite a long period, but yeah, we'll just see what happens with that. Again, ideally I'm hoping for 60 minutes, if not 90, like Power of the Doctor. I think that's probably a little bit too ambitious, but I would take an hour. As long as it's not 45 minutes, I want at least an hour to kind of, you know, wrap up all the stuff that's been going on, you know, not only with the whole Billy Piper question, but also ideally Susan, you know, would get some sort of conclusion, and a bunch of the other stuff from the Gatwa era as well, the boss, and all the rest of it. Ideally, you know, like an hour at least, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. There's also been a Doctor Who auction going on. Now, I might actually do a follow-up video on this, because I am watching a couple of things. Bearing in mind, not the expensive bits, like I'm not going, oh yeah, I'm just going to drop £9 on its TARDIS, you know, I'm not a millionaire. But I am keeping an eye on some of the smaller items, and I'm hoping to maybe get one and show it in a video, because I thought that'd be cool. But obviously I can't guarantee that, because knowing these auctions, they'll probably shoot up insanely. Like, obviously, like, these Sonics are going for like £4 each as well. So I'm probably not going to get anything realistically, but I might do a follow-up to this. Obviously some very cool stuff here. But people have interestingly pointed out that while a lot of Gatwa's costumes are on sale, the 14th Doctor one isn't. Now, obviously, I don't know whether that necessarily means much on its own, because they'll have, you know, they'll have replications. They'll have multiple, you know, copies of the 14th Doctor costume. However, I do find it interesting that basically all the 15th Doctor stuff is being, you know, sold off, but nothing from the 14th Doctor other than a rehearsal 14 Sonic. But you can see here, yeah, all of Gatwick Sonic's there, Ruby's costume, I think his coat, yeah, his coat there as well. You know, a lot of stuff from that era being sold off. The double coat from 73 odd, his finale look as well. So yeah, obviously no 14th Doctor stuff here, which again could mean absolutely nothing, but if we want to add it onto this little theory, then there it is. In other news, a TARDIS landed in Cambridge. The iconic police box used by the Doctor to travel through space and time is now at Zion Baptist Church, where it is being restored for fans to enjoy. Yeah, so this guy is a Doctor Who fan, found this TARDIS, and it is being restored for a Baptist church. I saw a couple of images on like Facebook of this TARDIS being transported, and everyone was like, "Oh, is this filming? Is this, you know, whatever?" It's not. It's for this display in Cambridge, but apparently this will be a permanent thing, which is very interesting. Now, what's interesting is that this guy said that it was from the 80s, but if you look at it, it's very clearly the Whittaker Gatwick Tennant current box. Now, according to Dimmy Lumig, who I'm looking at here, I think they managed to find where this actually came from, because they believed, the original person believed that this was a 80s box, but obviously Doctor Who nerds being the way we are, immediately identified that this was a Whittaker box. So someone said, found it. The person who posted the TARDIS on the TARDIS Owners Club is anonymous, but they said it's sat on the edge of their property for years. I've seen people post photos with it for years, with it in various stages of disrepair. Okay, so it's from a private guy, previously in Ipswich, and evidently moved to Cambridge for repair. It appears that it is indeed a single fan's build. Okay, interesting. This is a random aside, but I always kind of look, this is kind of a random aside, but I always kind of love the image of kind of a battered looking TARDIS. I don't know why, it just kind of like appeals to me for some reason. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you guys that story, because I know a lot of people have been asking me about the TARDIS that had been spotted in Cambridge, so I wanted to give you guys an update. No, it isn't for filming, but it is going to be sat in Cambridge for everyone to enjoy near a Baptist church. So there you go. So that's pretty cool. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you later.